Hello and welcome to the show. We do this call once a month to just give you a view on, it works lifestyle on the man side of things and, how we live our day-to-day daily life. It works has grown over the years and has just become astronomical. We're coming into the living rooms of plain ordinary people's lives and just changing their lives. If you are a man and your significant other is a distributor, or you are a distributor, and you're not in It Works Man Cave, let's get you in there. Reach out to one of us, and we'll make sure you get in there. It's over 5,000 guys in there, and we're proving the stereotypes wrong that this is a woman's business and things like that. We're living it day to day, so we're living proof. Corey, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, man. I can't complain.
How's things been going?
Everything is actually going pretty awesome, man. It's 2016. It's a new year. It's month 1 of 12. It's almost month 2, and that means it's almost conference time, so that's exciting.
Right.
I know that you and I are basically next door neighbors as far as states go, so it's flurrying here now, so I'm quite sure you're getting a little bit of this wintry mix up there and preparing for what's coming up these next 2 days. So we'll be shoveling ourselves out from this blizzard, but the good news is we won't have to drive to work. We'll already be home.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. Dave, you're down in Florida. How's it going, man? Dave, can you hear me? You there? Dave, can you hear me? I can hear you now.
I hear you now, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're down in Florida.
Yeah, I was going to say, Corey, after hearing all that, I'm sorry about that. We're down in Florida here. I used to be in Michigan, my wife Debbie and I, and we made the move down here a few months ago. And man, I'm loving life. I'm loving the weather down here. Is all I got to say. I'll be thinking about you guys up north.
Hey man, you and I be neighbors very soon, Dave, to get ourselves relocated down there.
All right, man, it's beautiful. Can't wait to have you down this way.
Awesome. So yeah, that's so Dave, there's a lot of history with you and your wife Debbie. I mean, I've heard stories of how you guys used to get your auto ships, used to go into the office and just pick it up by hand.
Yeah, that's it's just an idea just how crazy and how awesome this company has been to us and so many thousands of other people, because that's exactly right. We Debbie's she got started in this about 9 years ago, and the way that we got introduced to it was sitting by a pool up in Michigan, northern Michigan, in the middle of July, and we struck up a conversation with a couple people next to us, and those folks happened to be Mark and Cindy Pentecost. And so, it's been great. And he actually was asking us then, Rob. He was saying, "So you guys have a plan B?" And we didn't at the time. I had a business of 18 years, and Debbie was a realtor, and we didn't have a plan B. We were just working our lives, kind of like paycheck to paycheck. We had 3 kids, all in sports in high school, and then we came across this crazy opportunity. And the fact is that's right. She used to go down. We lived about 10 minutes from the office, and she used to call it her order, go down to the office, walk in the front door. If no one was at the front desk, she'd walk down the hallway to a filing cabinet and open a drawer, and lo and behold, find her order and walk on out. If nobody was there at the front desk, she'd sign out on the honor system of what she just ordered and picked up. So it's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my God, that's insane, man. To see how we have grown. What did you guys first think of it when this was introduced to you guys?
Well, we're kind of entrepreneurs at heart. We really didn't know, obviously, what we had an opportunity to run with, and with this crazy business, and where it would be today. But we did have an open mind, and we figured, if we kept doing what we were doing at the time, we'd keep getting what we were getting. And I just kind of felt, Rob, that I was on a hamster wheel, kind of just going through the motions from day to day, week to week, month to month. And like I said, loved our lives and wasn't complaining, but I just felt there was something better out there for us at the time. And so we had no idea, what it was going to be like. But one thing I love about Mark and the way he's grown this company with the integrity and the vision that he has, one thing about Mark Pentecost, he has a certain ability to surround himself with incredible people and build a team. And that's exactly what he did with corporate. Another crazy story, again, my wife was a realtor at the time, and when they decided to move to a destination area down in Bradenton, Florida from Grand Rapids, Michigan, because the reasons being what you just, kind of talked about, Corey, is the weather, and he wanted to find a place where he could bring a team of people that would be an enjoyable experience as far as the weather and things to do and that type of thing, and build teams. And he moved to Florida, moved that company down there, and at that time there was 22 or 24 families at the office, and every single one of them moved with them. And I remember him telling me that at the time the consultants that he was, doing some business plans with, saying, well, Mark, you're going to lose X amount of people because no one's going to make that move. And all 22 to 24 families moved with him to Florida with the company. So it tells you a little bit about how Mark runs the company and the integrity and the vision that he has, doesn't it?
And Corey, what do you think about all that, man?
Well, check this out, right? So you and Dave, you and myself, we're hosting the call, right? And we got a bunch of guys on this line listening in. So I want to give you, I'm just like the guys that are listening in. Even though I'm on the hosting side, I'm just like you guys. So let me just kind of play back some of the things that I heard and tell you some of the things that, are impressive to me and things that stand out, right? So Dave mentioned that he's been doing this for 9 years. So Dave is one of the most senior folks, that's around, okay? It's crazy that, a chit-chat by a poolside, turned into all of this. Like, we don't necessarily expect for, strangers we just kind of, strike up some, willy-nilly conversation with to, turn out to be like this massive and beautiful thing. So first of all, that is absolutely amazing. But the part that gets me is there are some people who can't hold friends for 9 years. There are some people who can't hold business or business relationship for 9 years. So, to kind of piggyback off of what Dave was saying with the families that moved from Michigan down to Florida, there's something that's there. There's something that's really, really sticky. And that sticky is a good sticky, man, because, we are all pieces and building blocks into this massive organization and this massive dream that we're building all together. So that definitely stands out to me, man, because like I mentioned, there are people who, don't even have friends for 9 years, let alone, a business partner, let alone being a part of a company, let alone growing with the company from, walking in and opening up a locker and picking up your auto ship, to, having, shipping facilities, on all four corners of the U.S. and in different countries and everything else, man. So it's just amazing to hear, that longevity story, that people have been, honest and true and have high character and high moral standards, for this length of time, and it shows by the people that they still retain those relationships with.
Yeah, absolutely, awesome. Absolutely, man. Dave and Corey, I made a post the other day, and I was basically telling people to pick your heart, okay, because struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by, that's hard. Trying to become more and leave the old you behind and give birth to the new you and do something different for different results is hard. But you have to pick your heart because both of them are hard. But one could yield better results than you've been getting. And I think that's the loop that people stay trapped in, to where they're so comfortable with the struggle that they continue to struggle, even though someone may be giving them God's gift of an answer, of a way out. And I know over these 9 years, Dave, you and Debbie seen your fair shares of ups and downs, but you stuck with it, correct?
Well, sure. The thing about business and life, of course, is that you're going to have your ups and downs, and it's really, if you expect that and you understand there's going to be low seasons and high seasons, but you have the end game in mind, I think really that if you keep focused and you remember exactly why you want to do what you're doing, and it really comes down to freedom, doesn't it? I mean, that's why we just bought a motor coach. You know, we ended up selling our house, selling everything. We want to take advantage of this opportunity that we have right now, this adventure that we have with It Works, and we're traveling the United States, you know, and we're starting here in Florida. And the thing about it is that, you know, if it wouldn't have been from that one conversation, that we never would be where we are today. And so it's about having a dream and showing up. Your thoughts become things, and keep doing what you need to do to keep getting you down the path to where you want to be. That's really what it's all about. So you got to have ups and downs, you know, just expect that. But it's better than having somebody else, you know, run your life and tell you what you can and can't do, how many vacations you can or can't take, how much time off. If you can go watch your kids play sports or do dance or take the weekend off to go to a funeral because a family member died. You don't have to ask permission for anybody to do any of that, because you're responsible for the outcome of where you want to be in your life, and that's what freedom's all about.
Absolutely, man. And, you know, I know that freedom has impacted your life greatly, Dave, and yours as well, Corey. I mean, just this past year, you got a $100,000 bonus with It Works, correct?
Yeah, man. So I forgot the exact date, but it just recently passed. I think it was maybe like the 7th, 8th, or 9th. It was actually the last day of my 9 to 5. And, you know, that was huge for me. And I'll share this story with you guys. The reason that it was huge for me is my job was my identity as a man. It's how I provided. It's how I was able to work towards my goals and my dreams and my aspirations. And I took pride in what I did, and I was really good at what I did. You know, like I got, you know, awards and everything else like that for being like, you know, the top salesman in the region. You know, like, I mean, I was really good at what I did. And I thought I had a really plush job. I worked for Verizon, a Fortune 50 company. You know, I made 6 figures. You know, I had the accomplishments that came along with it, and I got to work from home with it. You know, but the one thing that I lacked was freedom. You know, as I started to make more money and, you know, I was able to pay off, you know, some things and, you know, get a new vehicle and stuff like that, I still had to ask to get time off. Or I was still expected to perform on holidays. You know, working from home seems great when you have a 9 to 5, but that means that you work from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. And there's nothing wrong with hard work, but isn't it better to work for yourself versus working for someone else? You know, I now work sun up to sundown because it's my choice. But work is not work for me. Work is my passion. So it doesn't feel like work. And on top of that, I'm building legacy. When I was putting in sales at Verizon, I wasn't building a legacy. You know, I was barely building a career. You know, I had nothing that I could give down to, you know, I don't have any kids now, but when I have kids, I had nothing that I can give to them. You know, if I would have had kids and, you know, I would have spent, you know, the next 50 years or so at Verizon and, you know, my kids came to be 21 years of age and they needed a job, I couldn't get them a job there. You know, I couldn't guarantee that they would have, you know, a comfortable lifestyle like I did with this company. Okay, that company owed me nothing, and I gave them everything that I had because I was exchanging my time for a paycheck. Now, with It Works, I'm able to build my legacy. If I want to pass this business along to my kids, I can do that. You know, if I want to work hard and make income, I'm doing that for myself and not for someone else, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, and the one thing to piggyback off of what you were saying, Rob, earlier, about the post that you had created is, you know, you were saying, hey, both of them are hard. Pick one. One has a better upside than the other. So 2 points I want to bring up. The first point is the time is going to pass regardless. No matter what you decide to do, the time is going to pass. So whether you decide to sit on your hands and do nothing, the time's going to pass. Or whether you decide to take that leap and jump towards success, the time's still going to pass. So you might as well spend that time doing something productive, okay? And the other point that I wanted to bring up to you is what? Oh, gosh, I think I just lost it. Brain fart. I lost that one.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Dave, you guys are just up. You wake up in the morning and figure out where you want to go, and you just go there. I mean, who can do that when you're tied to a 9 to 5?
Well, that's the thing that really I appreciate and so grateful for where we are. Debbie and I worked the business together. We, like you mentioned before, we had some awesome friends within it works that we never really would have had before. Like, for instance, right now we're spending some time with some very close friends of ours, and we had we not been to It Works, we never would have met these folks. In fact, they have a motor coach too, and we're hanging out in the Wilderness Lodge here in our RV, hanging out with Dan and Darlene Roth, who we met. Actually, Debbie met 8 years ago in Minnesota. In fact, it was in January, and I think it was like 40 degrees below zero.
Wow.
So that's where Debbie met Darlene, and of course that introduced us to Dan, and Dan and Darlene are very close friends of ours, and so we're living the life and loving what we're doing, but more importantly, I think, is that we're sharing what we have with other people and impacting so many people along the way. If you think about, it started with Mark and Pam 15 years ago, and now there's over 100,000 paid distributors out there. So you can see the momentum with the company, and it's nothing but going forward beyond $1 billion from here. So we're super, super excited about what the possibilities for the future is going to be.
Absolutely, man. And my it's ironic. Back in 2012, my first run-in with Mark, my fiance had just hit a pin level, and she was like, "Let's go to Florida, and I'll get my pin and my badge." And I was like, "Well, I'll go to Florida and chill up under a palm tree. I'll get away to some warm weather, but I'm not hanging around any of those It Works people." And that was that's just how I looked at it. And we got there, and everything was smaller. Green carpet was on Mark's golf course, and I got up under that tent, man. I looked around, seen a bunch of women, very few men at the time, and I turned and said to her, "See, I told you, this is a woman's thing." And I sat there with my arms crossed at the table, hoping nobody talked to me, but people did come up and talk to me, encourage me, "You should get involved, you'd be great at this." And I just looked them up and down, "Thank you," but I had no plans on that. So the next day we went to the old corporate office on SR 64 there, and I got to go into Mark's office, and his assistant was walking us back, and she heard me say, "I don't want to meet him. You go in and say hi to him again. I know you're happy to see him again, but I don't feel like he can relate to me. I don't want to meet him." She turned around, she said, "No, he definitely wants to talk to you, and you can't tell him no." And I was shocked, so I went in there, I shook his hand, and I wanted to shake his hand and run out. And she said, "Mark, he feels like this is a woman's business, even though he has a CEO who's a man standing here right in front of him, and he just won't get involved. He takes the greens, and he knows the products are good, but he won't get involved." And he shocked the heck out of me. He started squeezing my hand, and he got my attention because he was squeezing my hand really hard. And I'm like, I barely even know this guy. He started squeezing my hand, so I'm making eye contact with him, and I'm looking down at our hands like, "What are you doing?" And so then he said, "You see that golf course you were on the other day?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I paid a few million cash for that, and it's just a hobby." And that shocked me. He was talking the man language from then on. I said, "Well, I got a lot of hobbies too." And he took the time to talk with me, man, and he said, "We're going some amazing places. You're going to be part of this. Don't miss out." And when I left there, I was pumped up, man. We started running together. We've been running ever since.
Yeah,
and that's
awesome.
the thing. It's like my good friend Rusty always says, who has the keys to your brain? Who are you giving the keys of your brain to? Because I had people in my ear, "You don't see no guys doing that. You're going to look crazy." And guess what? Fast forward 4 years, I made a decision to do something different, and they're saying, "You're always in Florida, man. I should have listened to you. I should have got involved when you did." So, people don't know what you can achieve. People can't see your future. They just don't want to try anything new, so they want to keep you stuck just like them. When you agree, Corey?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's easy for people to. Here's the thing. I don't like to read books, but I brought a book on audio, so it's kind of the same thing. So I'll say I've been reading a book. and it's by one of my favorite people, Tony Robbins. And the book is, gosh, I don't even know the title of it. Something about money. Money is a game or something like that. I forget what the title is. Anywho, one of the things that he said in there, he was talking about saving money. He was talking about why people find it hard to save money. And everyone knows that you should save money, but everyone wants to save money tomorrow and not today. And the reason that they want to do that, one of the reasons they want to do that is they don't believe that there's a future. They don't believe that there's a tomorrow. You know, yeah, they accept that, hey, like, yeah, there will be a tomorrow, there will be a future, you know, I will get old, but they don't believe it. They can't see themselves older. They can't see themselves at retirement age. So, it's, you know, they don't have that vision. So it's very easy for people to tell you, hey, no, you shouldn't do that. You know, I don't have the vision, so you shouldn't have the vision. You know, or they'll say something stupid like, yeah, you want to do network marketing, you know, a lot of people don't make money in that. Well, here's the trick, guys. A lot of people don't make money in a lot of things. You know, so and how are you going to listen to someone who, you know, you can't take business advice from someone who's unsuccessful in business. You know, that doesn't make sense. But you know what happens? We tend to fall for those pitfalls over and over and over again. And if you bump your head enough times, sooner or later you'll look up and you'll say, you know what, when that bridge comes, I'm going to duck this time, and I'm going to do something different. And that's representative of what all three of us have done, you know, at one point in time in our lives, hence the reason we're on this call together. We decided to do something very different. I'll tell you a funny story, right? My direct manager of Verizon, right, love this lady to death. Like, she's literally like my godmother, right? We still talk even to this day. She baked me a pie for Christmas, right? It's awesome. And I told her very early on when I got into this business, right? And she watched the maturation and she watched the growth. She watched the things that my wife and I were able to do. She watched the bills we paid off. She watched the vacations we took. She watched us, you know, get new vehicles. She watched all of that, okay? And she had the nerve to tell me when I was leaving my job, like, you know, hey, like, you sure you want to do that? I don't think you should. Those things don't last. You know, you probably shouldn't do that. You may have success, but you're not going to have success, and you should stick here with Verizon, right? And then literally in the same conversation, you know, I want you to sign me up for that business too, because I want to see how it goes. You know, so how crazy is that? Like, so on one hand, it's kind of like, you know, how you see those cartoons, you got like the devil and the angel on one shoulder. One shoulder's like, don't do that, don't do it. And the other shoulder's like, no, go ahead and do it. You could be successful. So you just have to figure out who you want to listen to. You know, don't listen to the next door neighbor that's living beneath check to check. They can't tell you about success. You know, if you want to find someone who can tell you, find it in the book. Find it on TV or on the internet. You know, follow someone that's successful. Tony Robbins also says, and I love this quote, success leaves clues. You know, if you want to be successful in whatever field it is, find the most successful person there and model after them. Success leaves clues.
Right. Absolutely. Dave, for any guys listening, because I know, you know, there are a lot of people who got prospects on this call tonight. We have a good bit of people on the call. Any guys who are listening who are, you know, considering this their worst thing, but they're not sure, what do you say to those people?
Well, I would say, why not? Why not go for it? Why not? It's a proven system that we have together, that they've created with steps to success. It's not on trial anymore, obviously. The track record speaks for itself of what the product can do, because here's the thing, no one else has what we have. A lot of other things out there, you know, as far as the supplements and that type of thing, but no one has the ultimate applicator, that crazy wrap thing. And it's going to be around forever, because the fact is that health and wellness is one of the businesses that is booming now and will continue to boom in the future. So if you're looking for, you know, a niche where you can really take advantage of what we have to offer for people, this is it. And I would just encourage them to take the jump, take the leap, and take the small risk that it is, and it'll change your life if you follow the steps and keep connected with the people that are successful in the business.
Absolutely, man. And I got to say, where else for $99 can you own your own business? There's
yeah,
not
it's
very
incredible.
many places.
I mean,
right.
Just the tax advantages alone, right, Rob? I mean, it's just,
right.
it's just
Absolutely.
incredible. Yeah.
Absolutely. Corey, I know we'd be here all night if you start to run down, even before it works, all the stuff you spent $99 on.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you walk into Target to go get like a soda, and walk back out, and got a $200 bill, man. So 99, like you'll spend that mindlessly. But the one thing that I'll let you know, and I'll give a personal example. So I started off first as a customer, right? Like my wife actually forced me to be a customer because she needed to get her four customers, right? I was number 3. So I was basically strong-armed into being a loyal customer. And, once I made the decision to do this business, and that decision was basically after watching her do it and also seeing the excitement from people, that's what really got me. People were excited, man. They were driving from all over town to come to our house to try this crazy rap thing. And when she mentioned that it was $99, I scoffed at the idea of that. Right? I was like, "Oh, I don't have $100. Like this is crazy." Mind you, I'm making 6 figures at the time, right? Mind you, I'm spending more than $100 in less than a week's time on gas. I'm spending more than $100 at the grocery store. I'm spending more than $100 for just frivolous things that I can't even remember what I brought. And I had to check myself, right? Because I was like, wait a minute, Corey, like let's check yourself, man. Like you just saw her make $500. What is $99? Hell, if it doesn't work, sell 4 wraps and then walk away. And that's the attitude that I had to take. And once I did that, man, it's been the greatest $99 that I've ever spent. And like, I don't say that cliche. I don't say that tongue in cheek. I mean, it's the truth. That $99 has been freedom. That $99 has been, creating a brand new life for us. That's been amazing. So, yeah, man, $99 is nothing for your future.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any last thing you want to leave the people with, Dave?
Well, I would just simply say this is that, for those that are it works, a part of it works as a distributor, or if you are in a supportive role of your wife, I would say, first of all, hey, pray for your wife, and support her in any way that you can. Secondly, I would say, don't stay focused where you're at, because where you are, I tell you what, it's never who you are, who you're going to become in the future, where you are now. It's the future that you want to focus on. And the person that you're today, it's not the person you're going to be tomorrow, because of the personal growth alone that you're going to be involved in with this company and the people that you're going to meet. So don't compare yourself to others. And the finish line, what that is, it's freedom.
Right. And, I was talking with someone the other day, and I asked him, I said, you know what? Can you name to me the most valuable place on earth? They said, I don't know. That's a tough one. Maybe like Dubai or Beverly Hills or something like that. I said, no, it's the graveyard, because so many people have took their dreams and talents and gifts to the grave with them, because they listened to what someone else said, because they were afraid to try something new, because they let self-doubt overtake their life, or the comfortability of staying stuck and saying, well, not enough on this paycheck just to make it. So I ask you, are you going to take your dreams to the grave with you? Because that would be the most selfish thing you ever did. You could get involved with this, and you never know. You could change the world. We have so many distributors and people who are giving back and, helping to build schools over in Africa. All off of It Works money. So I ask you, you're going to take your dreams to the grave? Are you going to try something different to get different results? The choice is yours. And get back with the person who got you on this call, because they truly care about you. Good night, everybody.